Alrighty, looks like we're running at about 15 frames per second for the main
That's
event
better.
here. So
That's a lot better.
let's take a brief moment here, just a delay before we start the race.
I keep refreshing my YouTube. Waiting.
Wow, so 2 of our entries from the sprint qualifier already qualified in the top 4. So that's an impressive start. So we'll be coming at you with a 200-mile event here at Orlando Superspeedway for 67 laps in total. We all know the streak that is existing right now where Atley Wiese has won the last 3 races straight. He's going to go on and try to make it 4 in a row, which we've only seen a couple times in the series amongst the Cup and the Busch. Atley would put his name into a rarefied air if he could make it 4 in a row.
I see that is that the 50. My screen is a little blurry here. Is that the 54 in the second row there?
Yep.
On the inside?
Yep.
And the 66 at the front again?
Yeah. Yeah, so it's our sprint qualifier guy is actually starting at the front of the field, which is impressive.
Yeah, that 66 and this 54 started basically right where they were for the sprint qualifier.
Leighton Avyard has been very good on super speedways. His best finish was a second earlier this year, and hopping in a new truck for maybe some good luck. We'll see if he can continue that success on super speedways. Chasey plays, and we've got our first championship contender here, Trevor Walker in about 7th place with Jack Ross, Jordan Walker and Jacob Shangle, Matthew Fastnot and Chaz Chadwick. You'll be able to distinguish who's in the championship if you can see there's a bronze nameplate with the Mega9 put on there, so that'll signify who's in the championship battle, and the teal turquoise trim on the trucks too. So Maggie Reams and Chris Hergeson. Chris Harvey has been lighting it up this year, looking for a good finish here today, alongside Tom Kourting.
Damn, that truck looks awesome.
Brian DeBlanc continuing to chug it through here in the trucks, and his Busch championship is lighting up actually, so he's a contender for the Busch championship this year. You know Brian DeBlanc pretty well, right?
Oh yeah, he and I go back a couple years now. We've been in another. We were in an open wheel series before this, and before that it was stock cars again for something like this. So he and I have been doing this sort of thing for a while together.
So it's pretty cool. His trucks, he's lamented the fact that his truck series has been a total bust this year, but for whatever reason, hopping in that Audi in the Busch series and getting a full-time ride in the Busch series later on in the season, he is leading the way through now up to the round of 10. So Bradley Ream here unfortunately was knocked out in our first round of 13, which was the big surprise. Bradley Ream was looking to be a big contender for the championship this year, as well as the 16 here of Jeffrey Gerald. But Tim Kourting's still alive. And then we've got deeper in the pack Ant Meeperson. And I think that's... Oh, wow. Atley Wiese is going to have to come from the back of the field for trying to get win number 4 here today. That's going to be...
It's been a minute since we've seen somebody go from the back to the front, though.
It could happen, especially at a super speedway.
We've seen it happen, but it's not very often we see somebody go from all the way to the back like that. But I think if anybody can do it here with the four wide we were seeing from the sprint qualifier, it's going to be him. Just almost hit back. Did you just about hit the back button?
I almost did because I tried to hop into drive.
And it wouldn't.
And it wouldn't drive because the race had already started. Abandon the race. Cancel. Nope. Okay, so it just treated me as hopping in the rig, but I was disqualified. So, because the race is starting.
All right, now we're cooking with some gas here.
I don't think I'm going to mess. We're just going to leave the green-white checkers turned off. I'm not going to try to minimize or move the screen around because it looks like we've got pretty solid stream coverage right now. And we got 2 people in the booth, which adds to the broadcast of it. So getting up.
Been a minute since I've been in the booth with you, but should still be a good old time, as usual.
Seems like we always cover the super speedway races. Those are.
We do.
I mean, there's a lot of action on track that you don't have. I mean, it'd make more sense to cover a road course, for example. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Because you could just talk about the weather and talk about, that bum on the side of the road when you're going to work or something. But
or the local gas station. Talk about the local gas station as they, leave it and get on the expressway.
Yeah. So yeah, no, the points have been reset. As we all know, the round of 13 we got cut down to the round of 9 here, the Mega9 as it's been labeled. And Atley Wiese has 31 points, playoff points. Chadwick has 22 playoff points. Trevor Walker with 12. And then the rest of the drivers behind them are in the single digits. So
I'm not gonna lie, looking at the overall standings, even looking at the playoff standings, it's almost exactly the same. If you look at the top 5 on the overall, it's almost the exact same lineup in the top 5 as it was at the end of last season.
Really close, yeah, definitely. And we even got the funny part is it's none of the new names because Bradley Ream fell to 6th there after having a rough Hyper 13 that he got knocked out. So
well, I think the only new the only 2 new numbers I see within that Mega 9 are the 90 of Tom Kourting and I think the 07.
Well,
the rest of the 7. I think the rest of the 7 in there were there towards the end of last year as well for the playoffs.
Atley definitely was not in contention for the championship last year, but has totally blown up since this season started. And the big deal for that is he wants to retire on top. It basically he's whether or not he wins the championship, he's gonna close up doors with the truck team and focus on his cup programs. So
he's doing the Brad Keselowski thing.
Yes. And it's going to be impressive if he can somehow manage to end it on top, win the championship, and say that's all she wrote for Mopar Motorsports. And the crazy part is he's dominating the Cup championship this year. So yeah,
he could still win both.
He could. The way it's going to work out, he's going to retire at the end of the winter championship here and won't run the summer championship, so he won't be competing for 2 truck championships. His team, what he's going to do though, he's going to break the team down into an all-star, kind of an all-star lineup for next year. So the team ain't closing its doors. I misspoke there.
He's just going to focus more on Cup himself.
Yep.
But he'll still have the team.
Yep.
Okay.
And so what he was saying is there's going to be an entry in the trucks that the driver that finishes 5th in the previous ARCA race is going to hop in the truck that next week. So it's going to be kind of neat, having it's going to give these guys in ARCA a chance to, race a truck and hopefully get their feet wet.
So it's kind of like the TKO situation with Fords at the end of the last year,
Yeah.
where it was whoever finishes the highest is gonna get to be in that car full time next year.
Yep. And as you can see, Atley Wiese from the back of the field all the way into the top 10 already.
Well, we said if anybody was gonna make it in this weird 3-4 wide situation of these trucks, it's gonna be him.
Well, the nice part is he's made it through the field without getting in a wreck. So, I mean, once he's at the front of the field, it's a lot safer there, I'd imagine.
It almost looks like, I can't tell if that's Tim or Tom, but I think if it's Tom, then he probably just drafted with Tom towards the front, or Tim to the front there.
Yep, 90 of Tom Kourting there, so...
Okay.
Bradley.
The shades are a little off. I couldn't tell whether it was the purple or the pink. Or not really pink, but like lighter shade of purple.
And that's another thing, these super speedways, we've got drivers running at the front of the field that you don't always see running at the front of the field. Got to give Cannon Gage a shout out there in the 81 truck. And we could still see it. Chevy has never won a race in the USA trucks, and often...
Still?
Yeah, still.
Hmm.
Often the super speedways will be the make or break for that situation. We could see Chevy get its first victory here today in Orlando. And Atley Wiese is out front leading. This is not a new sight. If you've been following the series for the past 3 weeks, it's been he's actually got a bounty on his head. Did you know that?
I was unaware of that. I did not realize he had a bounty on his head.
So, mysterious text messages within the universe of the NSSR series. Someone had put out a $150,000 bounty to whichever driver could wreck him and retire him from any race through the rest of the season.
Jeez. You hate to see bounties like that.
Yeah,
you do.
It's not an ideal, but it
No.
That's how much he's got a target on his back, and actually,
Well,
I think Atley's taken to it with a little bit more initiative. It's kind of lit the fire for him to race that much harder. And actually, it only that bounty was put up after he won one truck race. What happened? He'd won the truck race and the cup race in the same week, and someone's like, "We need to keep him from winning." And then he goes on to win 2 more truck races. So,
did your frames just go up, by the way?
it's
Kinda.
not going up. It's staying about the same.
Well, your stream just caught up with it.
Okay, the stream's doing good though.
Because my stream just went from pixels to clear. So now I can make out all the trucks. It's not just pixels of trucks.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there are 5, and they're sandwiched in there.
This is... I don't know if I like that. Something's bound to happen, just like in the sprint qualifier. So what does the I know we're getting close to the ARCA stuff getting started, or getting close to started. I haven't taken a look. Do we know what the schedule for those looks like yet?
Yes, let me actually go over the schedule real quick. So the ARCA series is going to dedicate mostly to short track and a couple road courses on the schedule. There's a few of these tracks that I'm not familiar with. USA International Speedway, I'm assuming is a short track. And
it is. That is one we also have on iRacing.
Okay.
I believe. It should be the same track. It sounds like the same track. It is a little... It's short. It's a short track, and it on iRacing, at least, I believe, it crosses between dirt and asphalt.
Okay. And so yeah, the idea is to try and keep that series size down, to keep it right around 25 cars max, so that our short tracks don't suffer from, the obvious mistake or the obvious flaws that NASCAR Racing 2003 has with short tracks. So there is Daytona following that on the next race on the schedule. Atlanta, Charlotte Roval, Bowman Gray, which will be neat to see. Bristol, Richmond, and that's the first half of the season. The second half will be hitting Orange County Fair, Watkins Glen, Jennerstown, Mid-Ohio, Terre Haute, I guess, Chicagoland, and Wisconsin International Raceway.
Okay. Also, yes, I did just pull up iRacing to double check, and if the USA International Speedway you were talking about, the same one that's on iRacing, yes, there should be two. It's either asphalt or dirt.
Oh, okay. And I'd have to confirm.
It's a little 3/4 miles track.
Because we might actually have some dirt races of those that were mentioned on the schedule. Bristol could always be a dirt race, but I think we're going to try to stick to pavement for the most part. So we'll see. I know Real Life ARCA hits the dirt tracks once in a while.
Yeah, I know they hit it every. I think like maybe 5% of their schedule is dirt.
Yeah.
Or something like that. It's only a few. It's only like a handful on their schedule. If that.
Impressive. So far, we made it 12 laps, and they have kept it clean so far.
It's longer than they made it in the sprint qualifier, so.
If they keep going like this, we might see green flag pit stops at the super speedway.
Which I think that might make things a little bit sketchy.
True.
I see a new look has come along for Chaz Chadwick there.
Yeah, it's a pretty snazzy scheme that he threw together himself. I do not take credit for the paint scheme. That one was all him, and I like how that one looks.
I like how that one looks as well. See, a few people have kept the same look, but a lot of people have moved around and shuffled around their look a little bit.
Jack Ross is actually going to be switching to Subaru next season. They've been making the joke that it's Sub Uwu. And
I was going to make the same joke.
It's going to be the Uwu truck.
Well, I mean, if they've already beat me to the joke, then...
Wow, 6 wide. Wow, they are...
That's not going to... Oh, God, 7. They're looking to go 7.
And there they are wrecking. Oh, and that's going to take out a huge chunk of the field.
Oh, now I see it on my side, and that is a big wreck.
I'm going to let him run back to the line here, and then we're going to do a little bit of analysis on that. Zevel Tom Foolington's going to lead him to the caution flag here, alongside Trevor Walker, Jack Ross, and Al Bunch.
That 54 truck has just kind of been sneaking along tonight.
Yeah, you might have had a, instinct on that one when you mentioned in the sprint qualifier to keep your eye on him. I guess call that commentator's intuition, right?
Yeah.
So unfortunately, James Reddick has just recently joined the series when Nathan Morgan actually left the server. So the 8 ride opened up, and now we've got a new face in the number 8. It looks like he was unfortunately in the wrong spot at the wrong time, as they are at this point 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wide. John Brinker and Matthew Fastnot. So Fastnot, championship contender there. As they are 6 wide for sure. That just sandwiched together.
Yeah.
Fastnot gets into it.
Oh, they just all touch, and that's all she wrote.
Wonder if there's a better camera angle to see more. Spectator didn't really change much, but
No, it didn't.
so the 13 and the 6. Ow, Taden Bergen slammed the wall hard there. And looks like the Kourting Brothers make it through.
Got a few chasers in that pile, in that melee there.
Chris Harvey is going to be wanting to stay.
Whoa! That was close on the 61's part.
They are piled in like firewood on the inside lane there.
And still trying to looked like they were still trying to sort it out.
Yeah, Chris Harvey has not been doing well at these super speedway races. Just the wrong place at the wrong time, unfortunately.
Oh, man. That two truck just gets ping ponged everywhere.
I do think Atley Wiese makes it through, though. I saw him
Brian
coming.
DeBlanc making it through there.
Maybe a little bit of luck on DeBlanc's for a change here in the truck series.
That's going to claim a lot of trucks. I got a feeling that's going to... Yeah, I think that's going to claim a few trucks there.
Wow.
Does Atley sneak his way through there?
Yeah.
Whoa, oh, yikes. Talk about a close call.
He was lucky he was on the inside lane because he had everything.
Well, Meeperson almost took him out with him.
Wow. So, of the drivers out, I think we only lost maybe Fastnut might be one of the only ones out in the championship battle in the race here. And that looks to be about it. So, yeah, Fastnut, unfortunately, in the Mega9, it's going to have a rough day here at Orlando. He was just the sandwich meat in the middle there, as you can see. There was nothing he could have done differently. Yeah, that truck is going to be toast.
It almost looks like the 78 goes to make room for the 8, just blocks with the 09 there, and it just dominoes from there.
I see Fastnut signed in, unfortunately, just in time to see his truck get wrecked out. 37th on the day, it looks like.
Not a great way to start the round of 9.
Jack Ross leads the way right now with Trevor Walker, Jordan Walker, Chadwick, and Gray. Ewan What Army's in this race is a all-star entry for the trucks. Then you got Tim and Tom Kourting there in the top 10.
Tom's kind of come a long way this season.
Yeah. No, starting late in the season and
with the half put together truck too.
Yeah. Right. I don't think he was able to make a start with that one. He tried to qualify, but then eventually all the finances came together to get him into a full-time ride, so he's been making the most of it with that full-time ride. He was in Pocono and obviously needed a win to make it in, and he did that.
Well,
and
he had to have taken lessons from his brother. Had to have.
Right.
Tim did that a lot last season towards the end there.
Well, and it's impressive to see the parity. I mean, you got the Walker brothers running side by side there, and the Kourting brothers side by side. It's pretty cool. And the trucks just so happen to be running side right along each other. Sometimes you gotta think that NASCAR Racing 2003 even looks at stuff like that. It seems crazy, but
It creates storylines a little bit.
yeah.
Good lap by Paul Ladino, by the way. Fast lap of 55.913.
So you're saying there's a chance for Chevy to get their first win here tonight?
Maybe. Where's Paula sitting?
Currently, 29th.
I mean, we've seen people come from the back multiple times tonight. Let's see.
I've been trying to follow that too. It seems like every week that the best running Chevy on non-super speedway races is always in about 20th on back. And Chevy even has the most amount of drivers fielded, so it's just it's a complete anomaly that Chevy is yet to win in the truck series.
I think it's just a parity thing with the truck series, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, with that also goes hand in hand with the fact that there's never been a Chevy truck that makes it to the playoff rounds. There hasn't, because they've either had to point their way in or win to get in, and 9 times out of 10, winning is the only way to get into the playoffs. So it's gonna be interesting when we get the East-West championship that every Chevy is gonna have an equal playing field, since they won't have to be coming through the sprint qualifiers anymore.
Yeah, it's just get in the car and you're good to go. Go get yourself some wins, get your points. You don't got to worry about qualifying anymore.
Yeah, exactly. And so many right now, we're sitting in probably about 20% of the Chevy field home every week right now, trying to fill the 42 truck field with 65 different drivers. So I still can't believe the truck series has grown to 65, and I've even been trying to keep on top of, knocking out those that leave the servers so that we can kind of, do some housekeeping here and there.
Keep it with the people that are around that are active.
Yeah. And even when you're doing that, I'll have, 1 people leave and then 2 more people join. It's just crazy. I don't know where people are finding it. I'm glad that whatever algorithm out there is spotlighting the series is getting it some recognition. So,
well, consistency definitely helps.
as you can see, Trevor Walker out there in kind of a special paint scheme. You're often used to seeing him in a white truck. Sadly, in the Busch Series, both Jordan and Trevor made it to the playoffs in trucks and Busch. Trevor Walker actually got eliminated last round in the Busch Series, so he's only got the trucks here to fight for right now. Trying to block both lanes. His brother thought better of it. And Jordan's going to go ahead and take the lead. So you're thinking, are you still thinking you might switch your Ford team, TKO, to Subaru?
Possibly. It's definitely a toss-up. It definitely sounds tempting, but it's just dependent on really how many are entering as Subarus.
I know I'm gonna probably stick as Fords, so as long as I'm, you'll have an alliance with me and Fords, so. But at the same time, you'll be joining an alliance with the likes of Adam Starr and Jack Ross with Subaru, so. Ford's been having a rough go of it this year. They've only had one victory so far through
And
six.
wasn't that through Tim or Tom?
Yeah, no, exactly. It was Tom Kourting winning to get into the playoffs here. That was the only Ford win so far this season. Crazy as it is.
It's weird. It's crazy to think that Tim doesn't have any wins at this point in the season. Like,
it's kind of like a sophomore slump or something. I mean,
yeah, because he's not doing terrible. Obviously, he's in the round of 9 and he's holding his own up front as usual. But
and just now takes the lead. So
yeah, just not having the results at the end of the day to get into victory lane.
there we got Atley in third again. He's got, history on his side, or he's trying to fight a historic milestone here if he could pull off a 4th victory. I was looking at it. It's happened. We had it in Busch with Al Bunch, who won 4 straight at the end of the year last year. And then Monty Shangle won 4 in the Cup this season, 4 straight. The only series that has not seen that is Trucks. We have not had someone win 4 straight in the Trucks yet.
Could see it today.
And that goes back to what you were saying about parity. We have just such a diverse field of drivers here that it's hard to get, on a tear.
I have a feeling that Atley Wiese is going to stay right behind him. They've had a lot of enough on-track experience together to know that they probably work well together at super speedways like this.
How about Brian DeBlanc there?
Oh yeah, making his way up to the top 5 here.
He's actually going to switch to Chevy next season. He wants to be one of the first to win in a Chevy, and obviously we still got about 5 races left in this season, but with his plans to switch to Chevy, he's thinking that it's going to be the catalyst to get them to victory lane.
It could be. I mean, think about what it took to get some dirt luck for Tim. He had to bring on extra drivers for every dirt race to start trying to figure out information to figure out what on earth he was doing wrong at those things.
True, and we've started to kind of give him the label as a dirt ringer. But
minus the bad luck he's had this year on dirt.
True. No, Atley is the dirt ringer. He's had, out of his 5 wins this season, 3 of them have come on dirt, which is amazing.
That is quite amazing.
And the next race on the schedule is going to be Williams Grove. So, I mean, if he comes out on top tonight here at Orlando, we might be looking at someone who could potentially get 5 in a row. This stands in the way as the one oddball race that you're never guaranteed to have a good finish, because that's why they call them a wild card race for sure.
Yeah, you just never know what on earth can happen.
There we got that 54 truck back into the mix.
I told you, I think that 54 truck might put something together here tonight. Might play spoiler for these chase guys.
That's another statistic that I had seen compared to last year, was Toyotas had been the most dominant.
There he goes.
And this year at
54 to the lead.
Is Dodge is the most dominant this year. Mostly due in part to Chadwick and Atley Wiese. They have been pretty much the winningest of the Dodge camp.
Is that 54 truck allianced with anybody? Or no?
This year, currently, it's under Fast Knot Racing. It's gonna
That
switch.
explains a lot.
Yep, it's gonna switch over to not Reams Motorsports.
For the second half of the year.
Yep.
Hopefully it has the same success it's currently having right now.
Now we got the two Chevys down on the bottom line grouped up together trying to get a draft started.
They're about 5 wide at one of the rows back there.
Colton Smith and Cannon Gage. Atley Wiese kind of in the danger zone right now. I would not want to be in that high lane.
Yeah, no, Tim Kourting up there with him, but he's at the front of it, not in the middle of it.
Right about here's where things get a little bit. You get
See, now if I'm Tim, I'm getting a little bit worried. Because I don't think I want to be 4 wide that far deep.
Ooh, now we got lap traffic. Ooh, that's gonna be.
Oh, that's gonna get real sketchy. Credit to those hanging on to it, but top line really needs to get around that truck. '66 truck causing a lot of problems back here.
I'm still gonna have to try and get the modified exe file for NR2003 so I can actually black flag people. It exists. I just haven't had the. I'm afraid of botching the game or something, with the unapproved.
It really doesn't. I'll be honest. When I did it flawlessly. It didn't even question it.
So we're about close to halfway through the race already, and it's only been 37 minutes in length.
Well, we've had one caution for 4 laps. Oh.
It's been breezing by pretty quickly here. Had a lot of action at the front. There's a lot of changes for the lead, as always with super speedway races.
I think a chunk of our field got caught up by that lap car there. It's like Atley Wiese and Tim Kourting fell all the way to the back of the field.
Heck, Bradley Ream's still alive. He's running right there in the top 10.
Our sprint qualifier winner up at the front again.
Yeah. Last time that the 64 was in victory lane was at a super speedway, so perhaps there's some luck to be had at the super speedways for that 64 entry. The 07 going a lap down, that's a title contender right there. They, along with the 09 of Fast Knot, having their worst go of it here today.
07 just trying to get out of the way, but nowhere to go.
And look at that, Al Bunch, after getting knocked out in the last round of the playoffs, up front leading here. Man, that's a tough one always when you're knocked out of contention, and then the next race on the schedule is one that you're good at. You're going to be beating yourself up about what could have been, but
yeah, you also got to think that you got nothing to lose at this point.
True, and maybe he's had the set to kill, the dial set to kill for the rest of the season now. So
here comes that 54 truck again.
Jack Ross actually missed the playoffs by just a hair. It would have been the difference if Tom Kourting had not won at Pocono. Jack Ross would have been our guy in, but with the surprise winner at Pocono, it knocked him out. He even missed a couple races.
That's the nature of the beast, though. That's
Yeah.
that's the pain of it, is that it's a double-edged sword like that.
Look at that.
Happy moment for Tom to qualify on a win, but
Chadwick.
bad news.
Look
Go
at
ahead.
Chadwick getting to the front here. Atley Wiese moving through the field too. So.
Well, Tim's found his way back up to the front after being dropped all the way back. So did Atley. They fell clear back to like 23rd and 24th on the field after that first lap car came through.
And that kind of goes into the same thing we're talking about with Al Bunch. Think about Tom Kourting, for example, that really had nothing to lose. He just had everything to gain. He knew that he had to win here and there to make something of it. And all the pieces put together, he's putting together kind of one of the Guido Piano stories that we had last year.
Yeah, he could still show up and play spoiler, just like Guido did last year. I mean, I think Tim would love it, but it might hurt a little bit if he gets knocked out this time around and his brother's the one playing Guido's role.
True. But it would also be really cool to see those two both in the final three at the end of the year.
I think it'd be real nice if we saw both of the brothers duking it out at the end there.
If it fell that way, I would maybe even expand it to the final four, because I got it as the final three right now. But
if it's the two brothers, let them race it out.
It would be a qualifying event that only that way it would play out. Otherwise, you're going to be just three. But if the fourth driver, for whatever reason, it's both pair of brothers, I would let I'd play the Jeff Gordon card, and it's like, oh yeah, you're in the playoffs because you're Jeff Gordon kind of thing,
Yeah.
What year was that? Jeff Gordon got in
that was the year that Michael Waltrip Racing got in trouble because Clint Boyer spun out intentionally.
Okay. Yep.
And then later in the year got into the fight with Jeff Gordon at Phoenix.
Nope, I remember that now. But wasn't it something weird, like they had allowed a 13th driver in the playoffs?
They allowed it because MWR had manipulated the results.
Yep.
To knock him out. So they said, we're going to deduct points from MWR. Both teams still qualify for the playoffs, but Jeff's going to also qualify because of the situation.
And if these guys keep running like this, we might have green flag pit stops. I said that last time, then we ended up getting a caution.
Yeah, you spoke too soon last time. I got a feeling this time with the trucks that fell out last time, we might hit green flag pit stops. Tom Kourting to the lead there.
That's interesting. We actually see 3x3x3 rather than any 4 or 5 wide.
It seems like everybody's sort of calming down now that we're reaching the end of this. I think they realized how much of a pain in the butt it was to get around that lap car when they weren't organized.
Ooh, and here we go. The App Man trying to take the lead back with about 31 laps to go this time by. Still a lot of racing to be had here. We're only halfway. And not even a full hour into the duration of this one. We're only 45 minutes in and they're halfway through it. Be a good story if Zach Armstrong could get a win. He has been snake bitten so often in the series. That 68 truck currently holds the fastest lap on track, so perhaps he's got something under the hood there. Oh, wow, that just kind of came out of nowhere. And it looked like
Oh no!
Tom Kourting getting into that one. So this could kind of mix things up. I don't know, he didn't look like he took too much damage. We'll have to see as Zach Armstrong takes him to the checkered flag there.
Well, you spoke too soon again there, friend.
Oh, look at, he did a spin and he keeps on going. So I don't think he took too much damage. There's going to be obviously some damage on that truck, but we
Question
saw...
is, who else was involved? That's the question.
Wow, his damage might just come from the extent of hitting the wall there. Al Bunch. Oh,
He just gets hooked. They didn't want to give either of each other an inch there. And just...
Well, I'd rather this than have green flag pit stops, at least. This one was only about a 3-truck wreck.
Yeah, it didn't claim a bunch of people.
I do think Tom Kourting's going to get away pretty scotch-free on that one. It could have been worse. He could have got pegged by another truck coming by, but...
I think he might struggle a little bit, but I don't think too much.
Bradley Reed, his truck as tore up as it is, he was still running up front, fighting for the lead. It looks like Al Bunch's day could be done. I don't know how hard Al Bunch hit. It looked like Jack Ross hit the hardest. So you can see Jack Ross gets hooked and bam. Okay, that's got to be a clipping deal because I thought he hit nose first, but the truck spun just right. Oh, it did hit. It hit the safer barrier nose first, but didn't look like it caused much nose damage on that truck.
It looks like it just kind of clipped.
Yeah. So he got lucky, I think.
Back pit stops.
Got 30 laps to go here. He's going to sit on pit road a little bit longer and get some of that damage quickly fixed. Whatever damage they can fix quickly. And he's back off and rolling. So I think, you know, if we get any more wrecks, Tom Kourting might be able to
pull something out of here.
Get a good finish regardless. There's been about, I think about 10 retirements. 7 retirements. Oh, the 00 retired, so that makes 8.
I don't like how they're racing off a pit road there. That looks like it's begging for trouble. Let's see, who's at the front of this field here?
Looks like Jordan Walker there. The others are lap down traffic in front of them.
I don't think I saw Tim.
Tim was about mid-pack. I think he was about
Was he?
20th. Yep.
So it didn't look like I saw him for a second.
Is it going to be Zach Armstrong by chance? Did he stay out? Couldn't have stayed out. Maybe took 2 tires. Quick trip down pit road. Took tires. Took only the right sides. See if it actually shuffles. Yep. Zach Armstrong in the lead.
I'm gonna step away from the booth for a minute, Jacob,
Alrighty.
because it's dinner time here on the East Coast.
Well, if you're back before the race ends, we'll catch you. If not, it's been good having you in the booth. I'll definitely get you updated on anything when you get back. So,
It's like a good plan. I'll catch you all in a little bit.
alrighty. So it looks like we're gonna have around 27 laps to go once the lights go off on the pace truck.
We're going to stand by.
Tire. Drivers out of the race right now are the 43 of Taden Berggren, one of our championship contenders in Matthew Fastnot, the 16 of Jeffrey Gerald, the 8 of James Reddick, the 2 of Chris Harvey, the 74 of Leighton Avyard, and the 89 of Gavin Legend, all out of the race. Also joining them is the 00 truck of Jack Ross, who's out of the race. Once they'll shuffle him through the field, he'll be slotted in 35th. In the meantime, we still have 29 trucks on the lead lap. And overall, 34 trucks left running. A couple of them lap down. We've been seeing a lot of jockeying for position at the lead. Atley Wiese still definitely alive in his drive for 4. If he's able to get his 4th consecutive win here tonight, that would put him amongst the greats that have done it. Al Bunch and Monty Shangle, who have all won 4 straight in their respective series. So I was glad to have James in the booth there for the first half of the race, and sounds like he's off to dinner right now, so he may or may not be back to see the conclusion of this one. But in the meantime, 27 laps remain. The distance these guys are running 55-second laps. That'll be roughly 20 minutes and this race will be finished. double filed up here, getting ready for the restart. It looks like our championship contenders amongst the top 10 is Jordan Walker, Chaz Chadwick, Meeperson, and even Atley Wiese and Trevor Walker there in the top 10 still. Chevy on the front row alongside Zach Armstrong, the 83 of Nate Gonzalez. Would love to bring home the first victory for Chevy. 20 laps to go, and we'll see who's going to come out victorious here. Brian DeBlanc with a good run here. Cannon Gage with a good run. We got Jordan Walker now dipping down on the inside. 3 wide for the lead. Jordan Walker drives by with ease there. And now he has full jurisdiction of holding the 3 lanes behind him. Paul Ladino, not too bad, into the top 10 right now. That yellow number 94 truck could be an upset for the rest of the field, as well as that 81 of Cannon Gage, who's been having a rough season regardless. Good run here today could totally change the whole aspect of your season. Ewan Wood Army is going to lead. Nope, not quite. It's actually Jordan Walker that leads that lap by. Jordan Walker still continuing to hold the lead here as they're 4 wide behind them. Atley Wiese needs to find some open room to get to the bottom lane. We'll see maybe if Tom Kourting's in the picture. Yeah, Tom Kourting's not in the lead pack, so perhaps there was a little bit more damage to that truck than initially. He's still within range of catching the lead group, though. Not too far out. This is where things are going to get interesting once the laps start clipping down to the end here, as we only have 24 laps to go. These guys are going to give it their all and try to run as hard as they can to pull off the win here. And they're wrecking. Ooh, wow. This is going to include a few more title contenders, unfortunately, as Chadwick's involved, Meeperson's involved. Zach Armstrong, who is having a good run today. That's a crying shame for a lot of drivers. Even Brian DeBlanc looks like his day is going to be done, continuing his streak of bad luck with the series. This is gonna retire quite a few drivers. This all kind of starts right about where the 04 truck pulls off. As you can see, he's blowing up. Mechanical failure on the 04. And the entire field wrecks in front of him. '04 had 99% damage to that engine, so that truck was... There was no way it was going to make it back around, even prior to hitting into the wreck zone there. I think it starts right about here with Brian DeBlanc. Oh, 94 Palladino bumps into the 24 of Kyler Sestre, collecting the 61 and the, I believe, 68. Yeah, the 68 of Zach Armstrong. Due in part to that, it looks like Sestre might be out of the race here. So 3 trucks, and then they just slide down the field and collect almost everyone else behind them. There is no way to tell. It's just a lot like what we were seeing at Darlington the other day in the Real Life Cup Series, where they would slide down the track and take everyone else out behind them. See how Chadwick fares. Chadwick gets clipped here by the 68. Once, twice. Makes minimal contact, minimal damage. Ooh, the 50 of Tim Kourting gets slammed into the wall there, though. It's hard to tell how many are going to be retired after this wreck. One thing's for certain, Atley Wiese was not involved in it. As you can see, the 19 of Atley Wiese right there at the mouse cursor. They come back down and he is safe. Both Kourting brothers make it through mildly unscathed. The 50 now probably has about the same amount of damage as the 90 truck as he kissed the wall. This has got to be the craziest. He makes contact with the 64 truck, but I would assume pretty minimal damage on the 90 truck yet again, as we might have to find who had the best. Wow, the 27 I think has the best seat here. We'll have to hop in his in-car. Watch the in-car cam on this one. Oh, he still sustained damage. I can't believe that actually caused damage on the truck. He barely makes contact there with the 61. Front cam. Yeah, that's... Yep, no, he made damage. That unfortunately happened, but it was still a pretty cool cam to shot to see how quickly he was able to maneuver through the traffic there. Things just tried to open up a little bit and didn't get as included with the wreck as some of these guys did. Chadwick still hanging on by a thread. It looks like that truck's a little bit rougher for the wear. And after that one, the retirements have grown almost double-fold. As now out of the race, joining them is the 66 of Quinn Ryan, the 08 of Al Bunch, the 61 of Brian DeBlank, the 68 of Zach Armstrong, the 04 of Chris Hergeson, the 13 of Ant Meeperson, the 24 of Kyler Sestre, the 27 of Philip Leeds, 98 of Krista Cower, the 17th of Jack Davis, the 22 truck of Dave Steele, and the 64 of Jacob Shangle, all of which are now out of the race, retired from the race. So it looks like there's going to be about 22 cars, 22 trucks left running in this one. And leading the way right now, it's a Chevy, the 33 of Colton Smith. as we've got 21 laps to go. Trevor Walker in second, Gavin Gray in third, Cannon Gage in fourth, and Ewan Woodarmy in fifth. If any are joining late, the race has been pretty mellow for the first segment of it, the first 3/4. We only saw one caution roughly in the first half. The second half has been a little bit more on the chaotic side. We've seen now 2 cautions in the last half, and almost half the field retired. As you can see, we've got down to 22 trucks left running. Atley Wiese still in contention with this one. A lot of trucks around him pretty damaged, so his truck has not sustained any damage yet, giving him probably one of, if not the freshest truck still out there. We're going to get back to green here with 19 laps to go. And title contenders out of the round of the Mega9 here. It looks like we've got Fastnot, who's not going to finish the race today, so that's 1 of 9. 13 of Ant Meeperson, that's 2 of 9. And that's it. So we still got 7 of 9 running. The 18 of Chadwick still running. 19 of Wiese is still running. The 90 of Tom. The 50 of Tim. The 10 of Jordan. And the 21 of Trevor. And the 07, actually. I didn't note that, but the 07 of Cash, 1 lap down in 21st. The fact that they're still running, even though they're 1 lap down, they have been able to gain a lot of positions with the drivers that have wrecked out. So, restart here, and it looks like Trevor Walker is going to get the jump. Good push there by Cannon Gage. Colton Smith holding the lead right now. This wouldn't be the first time we've seen a UPS-sponsored vehicle leading the way, even that a UPS Chevy leading the way in the last couple days. We all know how that turned out yesterday in the Cup Series. I'm liking Atley Wiese's odds at getting this done here today. Now that the field has shrunk by half, all Atley Wiese has to do is find his way back to the front. All these trucks around him that are damaged, that should be pretty easy to do. Willing to wager that we've seen, if not maybe one of our last cautions. And hopefully these folks can just finish it out and run it to the completion here without any more carnage to ravage the field. Tom Fullington has been up front a lot this evening, leading many laps in that 54 Jordan entry Toyota. And Jordan Walker now takes the lead away, leads that lap by a hair. Paul Ladino still sticking around in the picture, as you can see. We've actually got more Chevys running at the front of the field in the close of this one than we've seen all year. Cannon Gage has a chance here to take the lead away. A little bit of drafting help from Monty in the 38. Bradley Ream with that truck. Looks like it's been through the shredder. He's still holding on tight for a good finish here today. Out of the playoff contention after he got knocked out in the round of 13. Bradley Ream's just going to hope for a good finish and possibly spoil the party for any of the playoff contenders left running. So Cannon Gage has the lead, and it looks like Jordan Walker is going to lead that lap by the narrowest of margins there. Yeah, I was so close that the game says it was .00. That would have been neat if that was for the last lap victory right there. There's a lot of potential for that to happen here today at Orlando. We could see a photo finish like no other. And this definitely sets the stage for the round of 9. We're going to have Orlando here, of course, then Williams Grove, and then we're going to hit the road course in Portland as the elimination round for the round of 9, cutting it down to the round of 6. Look at that, Tim and Tom Kourting within the lead pack. Jordan and Trevor running 1-2, so we've got both pairs of brothers working their way to the front at the end of this one. Trevor Ventures, they've got Gavin Gray in the picture as well, so that team running 1-2 and looks to be 4th right now for Gavin Gray, 4th or 5th. $15 laps to go, and this is going to be your winner is going to come from someone in this pack here. Heck, even Chadwick hasn't completely lost the back of the draft, as you can see. Chadwick right at the tail end of the lead pack here, running 188 to their 188. So as long as he's got a little bit of toe there, he could catch back up and make things interesting. We've already seen how Bradley Ream with a significantly damaged truck has been faring in the race here. So is Chadwick probably going to be putting the same spin on things. Walker Brothers 1 and 2 right now. That's pretty cool. And they might potentially have a 3-wide team fight for the lead, as you got Trevor Ventures running 1, 2, and 3 right now. Now he gets shuffled out. Oh, it's going to be Atley making up the most of that situation. As you can see, Atley cruising through up to 4th. Atley on that high line now without very much draft help. We're going to probably see him start to fall back again. For these guys, it's all about the draft. As long as you've got someone to dance with out there, you'll be able to make some moves and get to the front. But it looks like we've got a stranglehold on the lead with the Walker brothers holding them down. Monty Shangle dips down low here, and that might be a position change as the 38 truck on the inside. Trevor losing some momentum there. I think the winning move is going to be getting down to that bottom lane and making your move, just as we're seeing with Colton Smith now taking the lead from a bump draft by Gavin Gray. And perhaps, you know, drivers like Atley, What Army, and those guys in the back are thinking that exact same thing. They just want to wait till about 3 laps to go to jump on that technique to try and secure the win here. There's no rush, no hurry to get to the front and lead laps that don't count for the win right now when you're setting yourself up to make that move later on in the race. Gavin Gray's going to lead this lap, so that puts the third Trevor Ventures truck out front leading within the last several laps. Damn, Bradley Reams still with a truck that still runs even though the damage on it looks like that. He's having a good run here regardless. 4 wide, the Walker Brothers on the high side of that 4 wide. Don't want to get 4 wide or 5 wide this late in the race because that could still spell trouble. Chevy's got their best shot at getting their first ever victory here today. As you can see, Cannon Gage and Colton Smith both within contention here. They're actually kind of lining them out here, getting strung along. As you can see, the lead 2 holding single file. Actually, the top 4 holding single file right now. Trevor Walker wants to break that trend, though, as he gets on the inside of the 38. We're down to 10 laps to go, so everyone that's kind of made their decisions, this is going to be where it comes down to it. 9 laps to go this time by, and lap traffic's going to be slightly a factor here. That 07 truck looks like it's going to hold up the high lane. Included in that are the 2 Chevys that I was hyping up with contender to win it. They're going to have to come from behind here at the end of this one as they now get shuffled backwards with the lap traffic. Meanwhile, it's pretty much single file again. Walker Brothers leading the way. Tom Foolington in 3rd. Ewan Wood Army in 4th. Paulo Dino in 5th, and then Atley Wiese in 6th. The App Man looks like he's going to take 5th away from Paulo Dino here. Get side by side, and Paulo Dino actually fights back on the inside. They haven't really formed back up as the pack's kind of destabilized right now. Got to work together and get that draft going if they want to catch back up to the leaders. Strength in numbers. Once you start breaking apart single file like this, it's harder to get a good run and get a draft. Brothers fighting for the lead. This could help draw the others into the mix as they're side by side for the lead. Jordan Walker, Trevor Walker, 1, 2. Atley Wiese still in the picture there, back in 6th. Tom Foolington in 4th. Ewan Wood Army in 3rd. Paulo Ladino in 5th. I really didn't say it in any particular order there. I was just spitballing. This is going to be interesting. The last 8 laps of this one. Who's going to come out on top? Tom Foolington, pretty new to the series here. Hasn't had much more than a couple starts. Made it through the sprint qualifier today and has been Pretty surprising in the way he's running. Bradley Ream involved in one of the wrecks earlier. His truck looks like it's been through a Terminator movie and still running really good in the top 10 there. Wood Army getting a good run here on the 2 leaders. Atley gets shuffled to the outside here and is going to have to lay up a little bit. The Walker brothers definitely putting on a show here for the crowd. The Kourting brothers had a little bit of drama within the race, getting involved in wrecks. Tom Kourting the highest, up into 10th right now. And Tim Kourting with a solid 14th, so still a top 15 finish here today. Could be huge for the points battle. As you can see, 6 laps to go, and we have bunched back up to the lead pack here. This is going to be just about anyone's game here in the top 6, top 7 drivers. Tom Foolington getting on the inside. It's got a bunch of Toyotas leading the way right now, as we've got 4 Toyotas rounding out the top 5. Paul Ladino sticking his nose down low there. This could get interesting. Five laps to go. This is about the time when you got to decide if you want to go to the bottom and start making those moves to the front, because you're not going to make it on the outside to win the race. You got to get down on that inside lane and help whoever it is in front of you to push to the front. Atley making his move at about the right time here. As you can see, Colton Smith pushing the 20 of Gavin Gray to the lead. Gavin Gray shuffles to the high side, and with that it looks like Colton Smith might take the lead. Atley starts to set up in the middle lane here, which might be a mistake, as I don't see that working. He's going to have to get back down to the bottom. And just like that, he does. He settles back into the bottom lane here. Colton Smith leads the way with 4 laps to go. Wood Army now takes the lead away. Monty Shangle giving Wood Army a good push here. And like I was saying earlier, at about 3 laps to go, that's when you gotta make your move. And I think Atley Wiese knew that. He was planning on doing just that. And right there, third on that inside lane, he's just got to let it come to him. Don't try to pass anyone on the outside, just stay on that bottom lane and run your race. Oh, Trevor Walker is going to steal the bottom lane away from him. This could get interesting, as Atley now in the middle, 3 wide. Monty Shangle holding that lead over 3 lanes of traffic. Monty goes up high, comes down low, and Atley's got an opening on the inside if he wants to take it. Ooh, Paulo's going to get that position and steal it from Atley, as now we've got Trevor Walker to the lead. Ooh, and Atley might have his opportunity again as the 2 Chevys start to lose traction there. So now it's Atley to the inside. Atley coming at Trevor Walker here with 3 laps to go. And we should be able to make it without any pit stops or shenanigans to mix it all up, as we've got 3 laps. It's going to be a 3-lap battle for the win here. Atley is showing some strength. He knows what's on the line. Even if he finishes second tonight, that's still a great points day and puts him in a good position for the next 2 races in this round of the Mega9. However, I can imagine he does not want to see Trevor Walker get the win here today, because that's going to be one competitor that Atley's going to have to deal with when they make it to the next round, the round of 6. Even Tom Fullington looks like he might be making a move here. Gets a little bit of a push from Jordan Walker. Jordan Walker now cuts down low inside of him. Atley Wiese, unfortunately, is getting shuffled back in the pack here. Still got a couple laps to figure it out. He has not led the race as far as I'm concerned. He has not led the race yet. So 2 laps to go this time by. 66 of 67 laps complete. Jordan Walker now taking that lead. Cannon Gage with a good run going. Game's doing a rare once in a while blip where we lose track of the trucks on track, but still everything's going good. As they're going to take the white flag this time by, it's Jordan Walker leading the way with Trevor Walker. These two, it could be a side-by-side check. It could be a photo finish for the checkered flag here today. Atley knows that he's got his work cut out for him here on the last lap, as he's gonna have to make up a lot of ground to take the win here today. We might see a 3-wide shuffle for the win here if the 81 of Cannon Gage could say anything about it. We'll see if they get a run going in towards the start-finish line. Jordan Walker leads the way right now. Atley Wiese with a run on the inside. Here comes Atley. He's going to try to make it possibly 3 wide. Oh, Atley's going to push the 81. And it's all for naught, as Atley might come home in about 4th there. Jordan Walker takes home the win. Cannon Gage in 2nd. Man, if there was only one more lap, there's no telling how that could have played out. Atley comes home 4th. Jordan Walker locks himself into the round of 6 with a solid run here today. And the field better look out next week once we hit the dirt track of Williams Grove to see if Atley may just as well win there next week on the schedule. So great run for the Walker brothers, 1-2. And even further back, the Kourting Brothers with a 12th and a 17th. 22 trucks finished the race, and about 20 trucks retired from the race. Cannon Gage, yet again, another Chevy, finishing runner-up, as we just saw at the last Super Speedway. Anheuser-Walkner coming home 2nd. So does Cannon Gage here today at Orlando. Zevel Tom Fullington with a top 5 finish here, not bad. Bradley Ream, even with the damage on that truck, still comes home with a top 10 finish. Ewan What Army in a few of his one-off starts, finishing 10th there. And so that's going to be a wrap. We had pretty good action at the front of the field all day. It didn't seem like anyone had anything for the Walker brothers, though. Those two were the class of the show here today in the USA Trucks. So that marks race 17 of 23. We got 6 races left to go, and then we'll have a new champion. So just go ahead and part 2. And so that's a wrap. Orlando Super Speedway, our Citrus Farmers 200 has concluded here this evening, and congratulations to the Walker brothers for finishing 1-2, and for Jordan Walker to lock himself into the next round of the playoffs. So we're right at a 1 hour and 30-minute mark for this stream. Thank you for everyone that tuned in to watch. And yeah, so we're on to the next one. It'll be a dirt track next. 2 more races in the Mega9 round. And so far it looks like our only lock-in guaranteed is Jordan Walker. So thank you everyone for tuning in. Hopefully to catch you on the next one. Have a good night and stay safe out there.